Shea Leverett, Jessica Carter to jump center. And the Bulldogs will start with the basketball. And that didn't take long for Rakia Jackson, straight to the hoop. Betty Manunga coming off another terrific game. Finds Pinzon, and the Bulls will get their offense going. Second year in a row these two teams have met. They played in Las Vegas last year. And there's Elena Chineke. She's been a little quiet offensively in the Bulls' first two games, but gets an early hoop tonight.
And Chineke found that cushion spot, Jim, on the floor where the defense was kind of worrying about the low post and staying on the line, and a good job.
Nice entry pass. Leverett knocks it loose, but just too strong is Jessica Carter, averaging 18.5 per game. Last year she was 13th in the nation in field goal percentage. Pinzon finds Chineke. Nice move. Too much traffic, though, in the paint. It will go back to Mississippi State.
Chineke, certainly one of the players that Coach Jose Fernandez was talking about to us earlier in the week. Expects her to be one of the role leaders in the guard position. I think she's key, Jim, as far as handling the ball, but also hitting key buckets and open shots, and South Florida answering back here.
Eliza Pinzon finding a little space. All tied up early on. Inside it goes. Carter with the turnaround. That one technically wasn't in the paint, Leah, but boy, the in the paint numbers for the Bulldogs last game off the charts.
Ridiculous. 72, that's right, 72 points in the paint against New Orleans. They had 30 plus in their first game as well. So this is a team that likes to work inside out. Nikki McCray Penson told us a little bit earlier this week that they want to be able to have balance, just like Jose Fernandez wants to have balance with his team as well.
Nice ball movement, and Sydney Cooks hits the three. 37% from three coming in. And not a player the Bulls can allow to be free at the arc. Here's Chineke. And it will come down to Jamaya Mingo-Young. 5-point Bulldogs lead early. Another open look, but this one won't fall. Manunga the rebound off the miss by Taylor. This is another aggressive defensive team, and Jose Fernandez looked like he wanted to get Maria Alvarez into the lineup. He had her set to come in, decided to ask for the early timeout here and try to retool this possession.
Well, and I think one of the big problems right now for South Florida, they do not have an answer, Jim, down low. That ball, an entry pass inside. Leverage playing from the backside and has to be able to push off the block a little bit better.
Here's Cooks with the three a moment ago. The Bulldogs have opened 4 of 5 from the floor.
Sydney Cooks sat out last.
And there's Alvarez, who has entered the game. 18 points for her in her last outing. Pinzon's shot glances off the rim. And the Bulldogs in business again. Nifty move to the basket, but the shot won't fall for Young. And here's Chineke in transition. The Bulldogs did a great job getting back defensively there.
They certainly did, Jim. 3 players back trying to eliminate that ball in transition and the quickness of South Florida.
First jumper of the day for Alvarez won't fall, but Leverett the offensive rebound and put back.
Way to clean up.
Shea Leverett, as we've mentioned, one of only 2 seniors on this USF team. They have a lot of experience, a lot of players that have been on the floor for a lot of games, but still a relatively young lineup. Alvarez pulls down that rebound.
Chineke doing a nice job, Jim, keeping Jackson in front. little bit of body contact and maybe just enough to alter her shot a little bit.
Not an easy defensive assignment. Chineke goes 5'7", Jackson 6'2".
This Mississippi State team is going to have to really work hard against South Florida, the way that Jose Fernandez gets his players to work off and run off those screens quickly.
Kristina Brabentsova has entered for the Bulls, and she will inbound it. Quick jumper for her, but off balance with a hand in her face. It's a tough shot, and Yamaya Harris with her first rebound for the Bulldogs. Big step to the basket by Jackson, and she will earn free throws.
That's exactly what we were talking about in the open with Rickea Jackson and her ability, that long first step. She has long arms as well, and she found that opening, getting right by Brabentsova to get to the bucket here and have the opportunity for two.
Preseason All-SEC first team. She was only 1 out of 4 on the young season from the free throw line, but now looking to go 2 for 2. South Florida with a rebound. Here's Alvarez. Manunga with the board.
Good
and
job.
USF will reset.
Nice job by Betty. She was facing a triple team underneath the hoop.
Brabentsova. And cold shooting early in this game for the Bulls, 3 out of 10, but they'll have another chance with the shot clock reset.
Tell you what, there is a challenge on the boards tonight for this USF team, and a team that has done very well with their offensive rebounding on the season, first in the American, and keeping this one alive.
Already 3 boards for Manunga. Let's make sure Alvarez is okay. Foul is going to be on Aliyah Matharu, her first, and Alvarez, who had the knee injury last year. You always hold your breath a little bit on something like that, but she popped up okay.
Gotta get it.
Leverett looking to get it back to Alvarez. Boy, Mississippi State makes you work for everything, don't they? Brabentsova with a nice jumper. She had 18 in the opener, much quieter offensive night against Baylor. Her first points of this evening. And that's going to be a turnover. Madison Hayes is going to be called for traveling. And it'll go back to South Florida. Kristina Brabentsova, sophomore for the Bulls. Pure shooter.
Pure shooter and being able to light it up for South Florida in the open look for this Bulls team as they trail by 2.
Here's Pinzon finding Alvarez. That's poked away. And the steal by Matharu all the way to the hoop, but she can't finish. Brabentsova now in some trouble, and this will be a held ball. It will go to South Florida with the arrow going back to Mississippi State. First quarter at the Yuengling Center. These two teams had a really memorable game in 2014. Deep into the WNIT tournament. It was in Starkville. South Florida won it 60-58 on a Courtney Williams buzzer beater. That one's short for Alvarez, and the rebound Carter.
Courtney being Courtney, as she will go up in the rafters here at South Florida.
Nice drive to the hoop again. It's Jackson running baseline. She's got 5 early points.
She loves to attack the basket, doesn't she?
That game USF won in the WNIT is the only road game they have won against Mississippi State. They played in Starkville one other time, but it was technically a neutral floor in a tournament. Bulldogs by 4. Carter backing her way in. South Florida holding their own so far on the boards. In fact, have an 8-6 rebounding advantage. Brabensova. That's a three-pointer just behind the line. Kristina Brabensova has come off the bench for 5, and South Florida's back to within 1.
Well, and while they were struggling from the floor, a great job, relentless effort on the boards, and getting that open look, that extra pass from three-point land.
3 minutes remaining in the quarter. Jackson has to kick it back to Young. Oh, nice pass inside. They'll earn free throws.
It's too bad because South Florida, Jim, was doing a great job pushing into traffic, pushing into where the ball was. The combination of Leverett and Brabensova both being able to help out on that play. As we go back to the opposite end, and a nice job with the light up from 3. In a game right now that South Florida trails by 1.
And free throws coming up. This will be Carter, a 63% free throw shooter. One more coming. Mississippi State has been to the free throw line collectively 38 times in 2 games coming into this one. So we should not be surprised, perhaps, that they are already 3 out of 4 tonight.
Yeah, well, you know, and when you think about it, you have 72 points in the paint. What's going to happen? Those are high percentage shots in that last game. You're going to give yourself an opportunity to get to the free throw line where they're averaging in a game about 17 opportunities or attempts from the free throw line.
Off the ball, a foul called on South Florida. They get Brabensova. And that will be her second foul. So that'll take a hot shooter off the floor for the Bulls. Maya Taylor, inside it goes now. And the whistles blow again. I think they'll get Monunga here, and Carter may go right back to the free throw line. South Florida's going to have to be careful of the foul situation. That's the 4th team foul. Monunga fouled out of the Baylor game. That's her first of this game.
And that was a time where Baylor was trying to establish as well because of their size and height, just trying to pound that ball inside. And as you mentioned, South Florida just a little bit thin in the forward line tonight as they took the floor. So keeping Betty Monunga on the court tonight is certainly key to have some balance in that attack.
Mihaela Lasic has the basketball for USF. Now Chinecki around a Monunga screen. And the Bulls will reset. No Beatrice Jordao for the Bulls tonight, unable to go. So that will make the Bulls a little thinner in the paint. Monunga hit 3 threes against Baylor. That one wouldn't fall, and she's going to be called for traveling. So the Bulls turn it over. That is their 3rd of this game.
And Betty Monunga trying to do the right thing there. She kind of hesitated a little bit, trying to think about making that extra pass. Probably just should have taken it straight to the bucket. Jim, she had an opportunity. There was a little window open for her baseline.
She had 3 no-doubters behind the arc against Baylor. It was really something to see. Had a great game. And, in fact, Nikki McCray-Penson even mentioned that in our talk with her, that that kind of caught her attention.
Absolutely, because it's not on the scout. And we talked about that during the game. Betty was pretty proud of herself as well, Jim. She was she hosted the Instagram on Friday for the USF squad and replayed all 3 threes that she made in that game. It was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, why not? If you're going to hit the shots, take the credit.
Exactly.
See Monunga going to the bench now for a rest, replaced by Leverett, and free throws coming up for Mississippi State. This is Aaliyah Matharu. She's a sophomore, averages 5 points per game. 6 made free throws in this first quarter for Mississippi State. And that's the difference right now, 6 points. And Matharu really dogging Losick there. Now Harvey, and that's going to be a hand check. That'll be a foul on the Bulldogs. It'll be on Maya Taylor, and that will be her first. South Florida 5 of 15 from the floor. Chineke's 3 won't fall. How about that hustle by Sydney Harvey? They'll call a held ball, and it will go to Mississippi State, but Harvey, a nice job to poke that ball away, almost got the steal.
Nearly got the steal, and, good scenario here. South Florida can match back up as Harvey was attacking the glasses. South Florida needing again that opportunity, and as they lead the rebounding average right now by 3, +3 on the boards tonight for them.
And you never know when the shots are going to start falling in that game against Baylor. South Florida didn't have much going offensively. Alvarez came in and hit that one shot, and the world changed for her and for South Florida. The whole offense kind of kicked into gear. They have not had that happen so far in this first quarter so far tonight. That'll be an offensive foul as Jackson bowls over Harvey. Harvey, one of the best of the South Florida players at drawing offensive fouls.
Leaned into it a little bit too much. Very obvious here. She kind of put that shoulder down as she went to the hoop. Good call.
Little backcourt pressure. Losick has to work to get it into the front court. Final minute of the first quarter. Bermejo with an open look from 3. And Jackson the rebound. Coast to coast for Jackson, but the shot won't fall. Bermejo the rebound for South Florida. Strong move to the basket, but the shot doesn't fall, and South Florida comes up empty again.
Most important, I think, anticipating contact, and you try to stay focused. You expect the hit, and certainly in these non-conference games, a physical team like Mississippi State, you have to expect the hit.
Shot clock and game clock are almost identical. So the Bulldogs taking a little time here. Now Jackson, and all the way through the paint for the hoop. And that's the end of the first quarter. Impressive performance by number 6 Mississippi State, and they build an 8-point lead over South Florida. We are heading to the second quarter at the Yuengling Center in Tampa. Back after this.
A little over 17 points per game in 2 games this year.
For South Florida, 5 of 18 from the floor, 1 of 7 from 3. And Leah, the shot selection and the looks have not been bad.
No, not at all. But you've got to be able to drain those shots. There were a couple of threes that didn't drop that were wide open. A couple of bunnies around the basket that unfortunately didn't fall as well. Those are shots against solid teams that you've got to take advantage of those open opportunities and make.
Monunga beats the shot clock. Leverett with the follow. That's her second hoop. Shea Leverett. South Florida back to within 6. Matharu. And look at that offensive board. Nicely done by Jessica Carter. Averages 6.5 rebounds per game. Monunga now finds Chineke, and her jumper is good. Chineke has 4, came in averaging 7 per night.
Elena Chineke keeps shooting. has that great flow in her shot, a good release, to get a different spot from the floor. Got to get some confidence up.
Pinzon the rebound. Mississippi State loves to extend the defense well beyond the three-point line at times. Here's Alvarez, and she connects first time today, and that's going to result in a Mississippi State timeout. Alvarez, who had 13 points in a 4.5-minute stretch against Baylor, hits the three to get South Florida back to within 3 points. A big moment for the USF offense.
Huge moment for USF, as you mentioned. Struggled missing her first 3 shots early, but hitting the key one and bringing South Florida in, forcing Mississippi State to take a timeout. And for Jose Fernandez's team, I think one of the key players, a key piece, and a complement for this USF Bulls team as we progress along the season, has struggled coming into the game to find her shot, only shooting 25%, but now 50% from the floor in just this game.
Coming out of the Mississippi State timeout, Maya Taylor with the basketball. Turnaround is no good by Carter. Monunga the rebound for South Florida. Taylor works hard defensively. Now Monunga and Chineke. Mid-range jumper for Monunga, too strong. And Carter the rebound. That is her third of the game. Taylor had a three if she wanted it, had a better ID and took it all the way to the hoop. Maya Taylor with a nice drive.
Little stutter step getting into the seam. Alvarez looked a little confused, thought some help defense was coming over.
Back to a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs. Pinzon's jumper no good. And a foul on the rebound. And it's going to go on Mississippi State.
Hey,
Well,
Taylor.
You think you have her stopped,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden.
Alvarez trying to get over the top through the screen and really needed some help defensively to have somebody roll off of that. And Taylor seeing the floor, looking at it wisely. Coach Nikki McCray Penson telling us earlier in the week that she's really been working on Taylor to be more of a scoring threat for this Mississippi State team. Saw a glimmer of it there.
Great distributor as well. 8th in the country last year in assist-to-turnover ratio was Maya Taylor.
Mm-hmm. And that was really Taylor's MO last season for Vic Schaefer's team. But in a new regime with a new element, new coach, wants to have that little complement on the floor of being more of a scoring threat.
Yamaya Harris picked up a foul. Here's Pinzon's three, and she connects. Eliza Pinzon has 5. That's the third three of the game for South Florida.
I like the mentality of Trineke and Pinzon both looking with confidence tonight, recognizing that the defense has sagged off of them just a hair in anticipation of that dribble drive and draining that three.
Jackson the spin move. And that will be a jump ball on the block. Harris got the offensive board. USF got the block, so the possession arrow will keep it with the Bulldogs. And Jackson will inbound. Sydney Cooks has re-entered. Now the outside jumper. Jackson leaves that a little short. South Florida with a chance to tie or take the lead here. Monunga launches, and there it is. Inside the arc, it's a two-pointer, but South Florida has come all the way back. This game is tied midway through the second quarter.
How about Betty recognizing off of the curl gym, losing Cooks defensively, and putting herself in a position where she had a nice, easy mid-range shot.
That's a tough off-balance jumper, no good, but the Bulls are going to get a foul on the rebound. Let's watch Monunga just step inside 3 and hit the mid-range jumper.
Look how she runs away from the ball, comes back out on a flare on the opposite side, away from traffic, finding the open space and knocking it down.
Bulldogs will inbound here after the USF foul on Harvey. Boy, so strong, but Leverett stayed with Jackson and got the better of that matchup. Pinzon, open 3. Nice hustle to get a second chance.
Shea Leverett is playing undersized tonight, no question, at both ends of the floor. And she is working really hard to help her team off of the boards offensively, defensively, setting screens, trying to get in position. Third chance opportunity here for South Florida.
Another board for Monunga, her 6th of the half. Harvey, and that is going to be touched last by the Bulldogs. It'll be an out-of-bounds play for South Florida, and they'll have to be aware of the shot clock. They're going to give it instead to Mississippi State. Yeah, I think the Bulls were confused there. I think it is South Florida basketball. Jackson would have been very happy to take that ball and inbound it had the officials let her. So 8 to shoot. Harvey needed only about 1, and South Florida has taken the lead. First points of the night for Sydney Harvey. Been an impressive run for South Florida. They were down 8 at the end of the first quarter. There is Carter, and she's going to earn free throws.
Simple inbounds play for South Florida, taking advantage of big opening baseline. And Harvey finding the spot to be able to receive that pass. No one in front of her for the easy layup.
Carter to the free throw line. Leads the Bulldogs now with 10 points. 4 out of 5 from the line. From Waverly Hall, Georgia. She is already in the top 10 all-time in block shots at Mississippi State. 97, that places her 6th. All tied up. Just over 4 minutes until halftime. Alvarez has just re-entered. Now Harvey over the Leverett screen. And it'll go back to the Bulldogs. Well, Leah, so far the Bulls have hung in with this number 6 team in the nation. And we've got a whistle off the ball. That's going to be a foul on Mississippi State. What do they have to do from here on out to stay competitive?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is the way that they're working hard right now to get those second and third chance opportunities off the glass. And again, we've talked about it since the beginning of the game. They're certainly undersized in the post, but those 8 offensive rebounds that South Florida has had and 11 second chance points have really been the difference in just working a little bit harder than their opponent for those intangible factors. And figure, this is a team that has yet to go to the free throw line tonight, so they've been doing it a number of different ways, and certainly three-point land has been gracious as that one rims out.
Harvey couldn't get the roll. It'll be a tie-up on the rebound, and South Florida will maintain possession. Bulls have already attempted 13 threes in this game compared to 4 for the Bulldogs. And as Leah mentioned, no free throw attempts for USF, 10 for Mississippi State. So those numbers right there tell you how different the offensive philosophies have been in this game so far. Leverett, and that's going to be a push. It'll be on Mississippi State.
The one thing that I've noticed, Jim, from the start of this game to the point that we are right now, South Florida looks a lot more comfortable on the floor. I didn't feel that comfortable feeling in the game against Baylor, but you're seeing progression, and that's what you want to see from game to game. Feeling that progression. Yes, the ball hasn't dropped in as much as South Florida would like early on in this game, but they just look a little bit more comfortable and confident on the court.
Carter picked up that foul. And the Bulls back in action with a little over 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Harvey's jumper is good. Sydney Harvey now has 4. Nice entry pass, and the block by Leverett. It goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Mississippi State, but Harris gets her shot blocked by Shea Leverett.
And that was a hard ball for Shea Leverett to block. And you can see right there the size differential. And Leverett doing a good job, Jim, getting over and being able to block that shot.
Pins on the rebound as Jackson couldn't hit the shot. Leverett another rebound but lost the handle, and here come the Bulldogs. Shot no good, but a foul, and more free throws coming up for Mississippi State. This will be on Monunga, and that will be her second. Monunga, Chineke, and Brabensova all have 2 fouls for South Florida.
Seems to be a little bit of confusion as we head back down the opposite end of the floor as to who the foul's on.
Yeah, we thought it would be free throws for Mississippi State. They pointed at Monunga, and she has been given her second foul. It looks like Jackson is going to go to the free throw line. If they called something beyond the foul, this almost looks like a technical.
On Pinzan, a technical foul, and that was about the time that Jose Fernandez did make the switch.
Well, this is quite an opportunity for Mississippi State here to turn the momentum. Jackson now has 8. Jackson and Carter have combined for 19 of Mississippi State's 26. So the technical on Pinzan, the foul on Monunga. And the parade of free throws will continue. That was the foul. I believe this is the technical.
And this, Jim, could be an open opportunity for a huge swing in South Florida, getting fortunate here that Mississippi State is not converting on these free throws.
And they missed 3 out of 4 as Young misses everything with her second attempt. So it's still Mississippi State's basketball, but the technical on Pinzan certainly could have been more damaging than 1 out of 4 from the line.
Absolutely. Get some good solid defense here and plenty of time to chip away into this 1-point advantage and try to go in the locker room with some more confidence.
Jackson gets her rebound. And another foul. Bulls looking for a travel, but they may get that. It is going to be a turnover, a travel on Jackson. Bermejo hung in pretty nicely defensively there. Entertaining first half from the Yuengling Center. The South Florida Bulls receiving votes. The Mississippi State Bulldogs, number 6 in the nation. Harvey off the glass. She's heating up. She's got 6 now. Here's Jackson. Young had it poked away but retrieves. Jackson thought about the 3. And that's a travel again. And that's Bermejo again standing in defensively in a tough matchup.
You know, you think about it, this could have been, going into this, off of the technicals and the foul, a 6-point swing in Mississippi State's favor, and USF has grounded down defensively. As you see Harvey getting ready to take potentially this ball in, and USF going in the opposite direction. But talking about really just staying to the grindstone here, this South Florida team and what they're doing offensively and defensively to have an opportunity to really open up this game just a little bit more heading into the half.
This will be a foul on Bermejo of South Florida. That will be her first. And USF trailing 19-11 at the end of the first quarter. Has played a very solid second quarter of basketball. Matheru will get free throws here. She's 2 out of 2. This will already be the 15th free throw attempt for Mississippi State. Two-point South Florida lead. And 2 out of 2 for Mathero. So 11 of 16 from the line for Mississippi State. Not a single free throw attempt for South Florida.
And keep in mind, that's pretty much Mississippi State's average, game average, that they have gotten to the line here in the first half of play.
Harvey is fouled by Carter. That's going to be Carter's second. And here will be the first free throws of the evening for South Florida. Harvey, one of the better free throw shooters in the American. She's only at 67% so far this year, and sure enough, rolls the first one out. South Florida by 3. First time that Mississippi State has played the Bulls in Tampa. 4th meeting overall. And they're going to get Bermejo there. And that's going to be her second. This has been an interesting matchup, Bermejo and Jackson.
Yeah, and Bermejo doing a nice job. Bermejo, one of those players that, you know, as the season progresses and the years progress, you can anticipate her getting into the weight room and getting a bit stronger. She's going to have to, playing at this level, but certainly with her height can really do some damage, I believe, with her athleticism that she has and her ability to shoot. And her rebounding prowess, too, is doing a good job getting up on the glass there.
Yeah, might have a chance at free throws here after the foul. Second on Jamaya Mingo-Young. And Bermejo to the free throw line for the first time this season.
Player who comes from a deep basketball family as well.
Got a friendly roll there, and the South Florida lead up to 2. So Bermejo converts. Just under 1 minute remaining in the first half. And South Florida, with some better shooting, some tenacious defense, has turned this game around in the second quarter.
And that solid defense has held Mississippi State scoreless from the field in the last 6.5 minutes.
Final minute of the first half. Matharu. And a whistle, that'll be a foul on Maria Alvarez. Fouls mounting up a little bit on South Florida, and to Jose Fernandez's concern, a lot of them are a long way from the basket.
Yeah, hand checks, a lot of hand checks. You get those hand checks when you're trying to get in front of your opponent.
Second foul on Alvarez, and now 5 different South Florida players have 2 fouls. But Mississippi State has left 7 points on the free throw line in this first half. 12 out of 19 now. And they come up empty on both of those. Jose Fernandez out near midcourt trying to have this offensive set run the way he wants to in the final minute of the first half. Harvey is open. Fighting for the rebound. It goes out of bounds. It goes to South Florida with 12 seconds left in the half. So the shot clock will be turned off. First appearance of the night for Sarah Guerrero for USF. Bermejo breaks open. That's a nicely diagrammed play resulting in an easy hoop at South Florida by 5. Young the other way. Gets the putback and the follow before the buzzer. Great effort by Jamaya Mingo-Yun. Entertaining first half of basketball. South Florida comes back from an 8-point deficit at the end of the first quarter to take a 3-point lead into the half. In the backcourt along with Jamaya Mingo-Yun, and we are underway in quarter number 3. Just 34% from the floor in the first half for the Bulldogs. Inside it goes. Tough turnaround shot, though, is no good. And it is touched last by Monunga. It will go back to Mississippi State. So they got it into Jackson on the first possession, the second possession as well, and she gets the hoop there. Jackson now with 11. Harvey driving baseline, and that play was thrown off when she was unable to cleanly catch that pass. Might have had an open look from 3, but had to settle for a drive to the basket and got called for the turnover.
And that's where one of those situations, Jim, where you really have to have a short-term memory, get back defensively now, try to make something happen for your team and go with the basketball here. Push the ball up the court for South Florida.
Carter's shot is short, and here's Harvey. Hits the shot, but she'll be called for a travel beforehand. Couldn't put the brakes on fast enough. Jose Fernandez not pleased with that call. So back-to-back turnovers for South Florida. Jackson going to work, and that's an offensive foul. That's the second time Harvey has drawn an offensive foul on Rickea Jackson.
Harvey working hard. Had a hard luck on that 3 that was called for a travel, and then back-to-back travels actually, but working hard at the opposite end of the floor and taking the charge for her South Florida team. Let's see if Jose Fernandez tries to set her up for something here for her hard work.
You have 2 of the best players in the country at taking charges on the floor tonight. Janeke can't connect. Sydney Harvey for USF, Maya Taylor for Mississippi State. Taylor took 44 of them last year. There's Carter on a nice entry pass to get the Bulldogs back to within 1.
Yeah, quick movement. There was a mismatch. Penzan was on Carter. Mississippi State recognizing it and taking advantage to pull within 1.
Off the ball, a foul. This will be on Maya Taylor.
You see Penzan just trying to get some sort of normalcy there and getting in position. And unfortunately, Carter with her big body, a little bit taller. You saw the height advantage, an easy drop in inside for her.
Bulls will inbound after the foul. Harvey has her shot blocked by Taylor. Young able to save it. It'll go off Leverett, back to Mississippi State. Bulls looking for some offense. Brabensova re-enters. She had 5 quick points in the first half, but then picked up a second foul and went to the sideline for the remainder of the half. And that might be her third. Three-point play possibility here from Mississippi State as the Bulldogs have retaken the lead. And indeed, Brabensova gets her third personal.
You saw how quickly she got beaten on the drive to the hoop, and this is where Mississippi State is just so good.
Matheru will try to complete the three-point play. She's already 4 of 4 from the line. Jose Fernandez is going to keep Brabensova out there with the 3 fouls. And into the front court, Pinzan will angle herself in front of the South Florida bench and take the timeout that Jose Fernandez requested. 2-point lead for Mississippi State, third quarter in Tampa.
With the foul trouble situation that is looming right now, is Jose Fernandez continues with Brabensova as she will inbound the ball for USF in front of their bench area. I think to just kind of calm everybody down just a little bit.
South Florida trailing by 2. Brabensova taking it to the basket. Cheneke's 3. And Manunga battling for the rebound. That will be a held ball to South Florida, with the arrow going back to Mississippi State. So the Bulls will get a shot clock reset. Just need somebody to inbound the ball. Near steal, but USF controls.
Nice.
Brabensova can't finish. Terrific feed from Pinzan, but the Bulls come up empty. Brabensova off the miss by Matheru. Open from 3. Cheneke's second chance. The Bulls have had a couple of great opportunities and have come up empty in the last sequence. Six to shoot. Cheneke pins on another terrific feed, and Cheneke has 6.
You can feel the tentativeness a little bit, Jim, on being able to light it up from 3. Nice job in making that extra pass for that bucket.
Bulls now 3 of 19 behind the arc. Matheru thought about the 3. Instead, they go inside. Mingo Young turns it over, and South Florida with a chance for the lead. Brabensova open from 3. And Manunga a rebound. That is her 8th. Another miss for South Florida. Another offensive rebound. This time it's Leverett.
One of the nice things, too, Jim, in working your offense in front of your bench this early in the season with Jose Fernandez right there, able to pull the ball out and being able to set things up.
Knocked away by Taylor. It'll go back to South Florida. How about some ball distribution from Eliza Pinzan?
Super job recognizing and in just waiting for Cheneke to come across and find that open spot. Bank it off the glass for 2.
Cheneke hits the outside jumper. That's a 3. That's her first of the day in 5 tries, and South Florida regains the lead. Here's Jackson. Long 3 is good by Matheru. Had to give that a little pause, but Aliyah Matheru with a nice touch to tie things up. Chineke in traffic tried to find Alvarez at the three-point line, and South Florida turns it over. A three on either side, and one as good as the other. Here's the first one for South Florida.
And Chineke, just her third three of the season, and as you had mentioned, struggled a little bit with her shooting touch, but answering at the opposite end as we head back to live action.
So we're all tied up midway through quarter number 3. Mathero with a nice first step gets by Chineke and goes to the basket. She's got 5 in a row. Only averages 5 per game, but she's got 10 this evening. Back and forth we go with Mississippi State now up 2. Here's Pinzon. Shot clock single digits. Chineke the quick jumper. And the rebound taken by Madison Hayes. Mathero again blocked by Leverett and a foul call. So Shea Leverett is going to pick up a personal there. If there had to be a foul for South Florida, that's not a bad one for them. It's Leverett's first. Mississippi State leads by 2. Back and forth battle in Tampa tonight. South Florida hanging in thanks in part to Eliza Pinzon.
Pinzon coming off of a 14-point performance against Baylor, and right now in this game narrowing in on a double-double. Sevens, the lucky sevens going across the board there. Almost maybe a triple-double.
And how about the 7 rebounds out of a guard position? Only Monunga has more for South Florida tonight. So free throws coming up before the break. The foul on Leverett. And Mathero, who has really kind of taken over in this third quarter for Mississippi State, is going to get more opportunities from the line.
Well, Mathero doing what is the MO for Mississippi State and taking that ball to the bucket. They love to drive and run downhill on you all the time, and giving herself an opportunity at the free throw line.
Where she is now 7 for 7, 14 points for her. Little backcourt pressure to make Pinzon work a little harder. Monunga going to work and blocked out of there. Terrific defensive play by Yamaya Harris.
And Harris just staying in with that wide body down low, hands up straight. Perfect timing. You see the disadvantage in the height that USF has and is battling down low tonight. But I think that they have fought real hard, as Jose Fernandez thinking prior to the charge that maybe Mississippi State has stepped out of bounds.
Alvarez kind of got trapped in the corner there and wound up having to take an ill-advised drive into the paint, wound up getting the foul, and now she has 3 for South Florida as well. Strong move to the basket, Rakia Jackson, 13 for her.
Ooh.
Leverett, that's a tough catch for her to try to make on the run, and she can't pull it in. And it's a turnover for South Florida. So the Bulls now down by 6. And Jackson trying to extend the lead. She's going back. No, she's going to be called for an offensive foul. That will be her 3rd offensive foul of the game, or did they get a travel? Look like it's going to be a travel. So Jackson stays with 2 personals. And the turnover back to South Florida with 3.5 to go. Bulls offense has quieted down a little bit here. Only 5 points in the quarter so far. Alvarez looking for some help. Leverett sets the screen. Monunga with the shot and a chance for a 3-point play. Betty Monunga, just her second hoop of the game, but it was a graceful one, and she'll have a free throw to go along with it.
Patience with the USF offense right here. Monunga with body hanging on her, hands slapping in, and that's where the strength of the off-season workout proves itself truly in performance there and be able to go up strong with that shot.
Monunga already has 10 double-doubles in her USF career and almost averaging one for this season. Came in at 9 points, 10.5 boards per game. So that gives South Florida a lift, gets them back to within 3. Taylor blocked by Monunga, will go back to Mississippi State.
And much better job defensively communicating on the switch to make sure that defender was right in front.
Ten seconds to shoot. 3 is no good, missed by Cooks, and the rebound Leverett. And now it's the Bulls with some momentum. Alvarez leaves it a little short. She'll get another opportunity. And just like that, the game is tied. A 6-0 run for South Florida.
Well, Jose Fernandez wanted to slow it down and reconnect and rekindle that offense, but that open look was far too open for Alvarez to give up.
Bulls have attempted 23 three-pointers in this game. Another travel call, this time on Sydney Cooks. Alvarez, if you don't hit it the first time, shooters keep shooting, and that's what happened in that sequence. So South Florida a chance to grab the lead, and here's Alvarez again from well behind the arc. Just like she did against Baylor, Alvarez out of nowhere starts hitting threes left and right in the third quarter. And South Florida has scored 9 unanswered, and that's an offensive foul on Jackson. Maria Alvarez at the heart of South Florida's comeback here, 32nd timeout
of this game. It's so important to make sure that the ball is right there. That was a long pass to Maria Alvarez. She adjusted, got the shot off quickly before the defender could get on her.
Matheru almost knocked it away. And the whistles blow, and she'll get a foul. South Florida on a 9-0 run. Now leading by 3. And free throws coming up for Pinzon. Boy, Pinzon has a legitimate chance, Leah, at a triple-double. She's now at 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Actually 7 points with 2 free throws coming. There's point number 8. Matharu got the foul a moment ago. It was her second. Pinzon can't steer that one in, and she gets 1 out of 2. Mississippi State had built a 6-point lead, and the Bulls have come roaring back with 10 in a row. Alvarez, this time picked up very quickly at the 3-point line. Just over a minute to go, third quarter. Monunga. Bulls running out of time, 5 to shoot. Pinzon saw it, beat the clock, but couldn't get the shot to fall. Back to the Bulldogs with 55 seconds left.
And Betty Monunga's first thought there, Jim, was to pass that ball back out. As she turned and faced the hoop, she had a little bit of a gap and a seam to get that shot off.
Here is Cooks. Now Jackson. Entry pass knocked away by Leverett. South Florida comes up with a basketball and a final possession perhaps here in the third quarter. Only about a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Harvey into traffic, draws the foul. Jessica Carter will get her third.
And Sydney Harvey extremely lucky to be able to dribble through that double team and earn that foul right there. Usually don't want to do that. You don't want to dribble into traffic.
Boy, Harvey continues to struggle from the free throw line. 1 out of 3 so far tonight. Uncharacteristic for her, one of the best free throw shooters in the American a year ago. .6 seconds remaining. And the Bulls lead is now 5. Losick enters. And here come the Bulldogs. And Losick with a foul at 4.9 seconds to go. That's only the 4th team foul on the Bulls.
And that was strictly what Jose Fernandez was trying to do on that play, to eliminate that easy drive to the hoop and not have an opportunity to go back the other way.
Long 3 is no good. And that's how the third quarter will end. Mississippi State goes up by 6. The Bulls come roaring back. And at the end of 3 quarters, it's South Florida up on the number 6 team in the nation. Number 4 with a 5-point advantage. Maya Taylor with the basketball. There is Carter, can't get the follow. Jackson's follow no good. Carter again. Well, those are the 2 you would expect for Mississippi State. Carter and Jackson have now combined for 28 of their 49 points, and they were all over the boards there. Harvey finds Pinzon. Five to shoot. Manunga and Harvey the offensive rebound. Bulls have had their share of those. Pinzon's 3 halfway down and rolls out, and the rebound taken by the Bulldogs.
I get a sense that the USF squad knows what's going on and how close Pinzon is to some history, because there was a large ooh and an ah there off of the release of that shot.
Has 9 boards now, 8 assists and 8 points. And almost a full quarter of action to go. Nice drive to the basket. Maya Taylor with a great move, and it's back to a 1-point game. South Florida led by 5 at the half. Mississippi State came out fast, up 8 at the end of the first quarter. Harvey kind of lost the handle on that pass and couldn't hit the shot. A 4-0 run for Mississippi State to start the quarter. It has been a game of runs back and forth all night long. Cooks working on Manunga. And the South Florida rebound for Betty Manunga. That's her 9th. One-point South Florida lead. Trying to take down the number 6 team in the nation after narrowly missing a chance to take down number 4 earlier in the week. That's going to be a block on Carter, and South Florida may have been a little fortunate there. Betty Manunga had the forearm shiver.
There's plexiglass between Jim and I when we do these broadcasts, but I'll tell you what, I kind of gave it away there a little bit with my ooh and ah. I thought Betty Manunga was going to pick up an offensive foul on that play, so a big break for the South Florida Bulls as Alvarez will inbound it for USF.
And a very important call against Mississippi State, too. It sends Carter to the bench with 4 fouls. Alvarez has returned, and now we're going the other way.
And keep in mind, Carter, one of 3 players for Mississippi State already in double figures with those 15 points.
Shea Leverett picked up a foul there trying to set a screen. So she's got 2. Now Carter does check out. Going down to the wire in Tampa. It's been a great week of basketball here. Taylor looking inside. Now finds Jackson. Young into the paint. And a late whistle, but it'll be a foul on South Florida. They're going to get Alvarez. And if so, that will be her 4th. So foul trouble now affecting both teams. South Florida is going to keep Alvarez on the court with 4 fouls. First free throw for Jemiah Mingo Young is good. That's her first make from the free throw line. She was 0 for 4 prior to that. Got them both there to give her team the lead. So another lead change here in the 4th quarter. And now it's the Bulldogs up 1. Alvarez to Harvey into the paint, scoops it up and can't finish, and the rebound taken by Mutharo. Taylor puts the brakes on, sends it back outside. The 3 no good. And Manunga is going to pick up a foul try to get that ball away from Mingo Young. And now Manunga will have 3. So for South Florida, Alvarez with 4. Brabensova, who is re-entering the game, has 3. And Manunga has 3.
Fine balance for Jose Fernandez as he tries to work through the foul trouble here. Realistically, Jim, over the next 2.5 minutes.
3 is no good. Pins on the rebound. That is her 10th of this game. Alvarez didn't catch that ball cleanly. Might have ended her chance to launch a 3 there. Pinzon looking for something. Shot clock down to 6. Alvarez has it knocked away. Bulls were out of sync for a long time on that sequence. They're going to get the basketball back, but they're only going to have 4 seconds to shoot.
And honestly, that was the first time all night where they just didn't look comfortable in their offensive set. 4 seconds, plenty of time, but a difficult spot on an inbounds for USF here on the offensive side of the ball.
Manunga will put it in play. We'll see what USF draws up. It's Alvarez, and she's going to have to make it happen off balance, and the rebound taken by Jackson. Cooks lost the handle. Turnover, Bulldogs back to South Florida.
Mississippi State was trying to speed it up a little bit, and I think their eyes lit up for the opportunity to try to attack that hoop. Jackson almost realistically running out of her sneakers on that play, and you can see the type of ability that she has with her quickness on the court to put it down and try to get to the bucket.
Carter has re-entered, so each team has a player with 4 fouls on the floor now with 5:40 to go. Leverett not a threat from 3. Pinzon with the runner. And Pinzon has a double-double, 2 more assists. She'll have a triple-double. South Florida by 1. Travel before the move to the basket. That'll be a turnover. They get Carter this time. And the basketball goes back to South Florida.
We go back to that bucket by Pinzon. That's a tough runner to make in traffic and switching hands, and she glided nicely to avoid any contact for that bucket.
1 point lead for South Florida. Pinzon has controlled this offense all night long for South Florida. Minunga from outside. Offensive rebound, Leverett. She thought she was fouled, no whistle, and the ball goes out of bounds. Touched last by South Florida.
And going back to Pinzon for a second, she looks much more comfortable running this show. She struggled against Baylor, had some really unfortunate turnovers where I thought, Jim, she thought the seam was bigger than it was to thread a pass. She has definitely progressed, and that's what you look for your team as you progress along in each game, for improvement. She has shown that tonight.
That's why you schedule top 10 teams as well. Minunga takes a big hit. This is going to be a foul on Mississippi State. Jackson launched the 3, and a foul on the rebound. It'll be USF ball when we come back. More great play by Eliza Pinzon has the Bulls ahead by 1. Remaining in the Yuengling Center, Eliza Pinzon having quite a night. Approaching triple-double territory. She's already set a career high in rebounds.
Well, and getting some real solid open looks and looking confident and comfortable, Jim, at both ends of the floor, and closing in on a historic opportunity here with 4:46 to go in this game. Potentially the second player in USF history to get to this historic mark.
Well, she's not far away. 10, 10, and 8 for Pinzon. But the bigger story, of course, is the game itself. 1 point, South Florida lead with 4:46 to go. And after the foul, which was the 4th on Mingo Young, the Bulls will inbound. So foul trouble starting to plague both of these teams down the stretch. Pinzon finds Minunga into the paint. Nice little runner, but again it rolls off. Matharu, who's had a great second half, going to the glass with the left hand. She's got 16. And the Bulldogs are back up by a single point. Less than 4 minutes to go. Brabensova over a screen, and a big shot for her, Kristina Brabensova.
You know, when Brabensova gets that ball in her hands, she's got a real quick release. That ball got up and down quickly.
7 points for her, South Florida by 1. Drive to the basket, Jackson too strong, gets a second chance, and has a chance now for a three-point play.
How about Jackson using her body, Jim, to give herself just a little bit better situation to come up off the glass. Puts the ball down hard and kind of pushes in just a little bit there. Get away with an opportunity for the three-point play.
And you might have seen Leverett at the end of that play kind of motion to Brabensova saying, let me go after her defensively. Brabensova got her 4th foul. So Alvarez and Brabensova now with 4. Mingo Young and Carter with 4. And USF gets the ball into the front court and asks for a timeout. Trailing by 1 with 3:15 to go. What do you draw up here in this key possession?
Well, I think for USF, you know, they've got Alvarez back on the floor. I'd like to see Alvarez or Pinzan coming off of a screen, but if it's not there, look for some separation on that play for Betty Monunga to kind of get one of those mid-range jumpers that she was connecting on early, Jim, in this ball game back in the first quarter.
South Florida just 6 of 27 from three-point range in this game. Maybe one of the most impressive things that the Bulls have done tonight, though, is rebound. They're up 40-37 in rebounds against this Mississippi State team that doesn't get out rebounded a whole lot.
Well, it was the offensive rebounds early on when this South Florida team was really struggling. They've had 18 offensive boards tonight, and those second chance opportunities early on when the ball was not falling either for South Florida. 23 second chance points for the Bulls.
Every possession critical here, so Jose Fernandez investing a timeout. As you can see, South Florida has one more timeout to work with. Mississippi State has 2. 3 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Brabensova inside to Monunga and blocked again. Another great defensive play by Harris and a held ball, and it will go to South Florida. She's had a couple of great blocks in this game.
Yep. Certainly utilizing their height advantage off of the ball there by Alvarez on the 3.
Yamaya Morris with 2 big blocks in this game. Here's Alvarez. And the rebound pulled down by Taylor. The 3 is short. It goes off the hands of Monunga and back to Mississippi State. 2 minutes, 49 seconds to go.
That was not the shot that Mississippi State was looking for, and not the person certainly that you would want to take that 3-point shot. Little hard luck here for South Florida as Mississippi State gets a fresh shot clock.
And a deep rebound off the 3 taken by Mississippi State. The turnover, Pinzan, and it'll be free throws for Brabensova.
Nice.
Pinzan almost had assist number 9 lined up there.
Almost. And this is where Brabensova, once again, Jim, has struggled a little bit tonight, anticipating some of the contact that she thinks she's going to get. We see this quite frequently with the European players. They're not accustomed to the contact of the American game, and she'll get accustomed to it as her career progresses. But now an opportunity, a couple key free throws here.
First trip to the line tonight. Game tie. Mississippi State has brought back Carter playing with the 4 fouls. She replaces Morris. And South Florida takes the lead back. South Florida receiving votes. Mississippi State number 6 in the nation. And it has been a great battle tonight. Jackson. Strength and grace, and Mississippi State takes the lead. Jackson now with 17 points, 8 rebounds. And a critical turnover for South Florida as Pinzan and Harvey not on the same page, and turnovers are painful everywhere, but that far from the basket, that really hurts. That is the 12th turnover of the game for South Florida. Mingo Young playing with 4 fouls. Now Jackson lost the dribble, double team, and throws it away. South Florida looking to take the lead back. Bulls have only one timeout remaining. Here's Brabensova. Pinzon breaks free. Gets the roll on the runner, and South Florida is back ahead with 1:18 to go. This has been a terrific game tonight. Timeout, Mississippi State. Well, Eliza Pinzon has done it all tonight. 12 points after this hoop.
Well, and taking advantage on that opportunity and getting to the bucket, just cutting back on the inside of Taylor. Taylor kind of gave up on the play a little bit too, and Pinzon making it hurt. She likes that floater shot and being able to connect at a key opportunity, forcing the timeout.
So the Bulls will line it up defensively now, and they've got Brabensova and Alvarez playing with 4 fouls. For Mississippi State, Mingo Young and Carter both have 4. And we are going down to the wire here in the Yuengling Center. This one has really been fun tonight. Taylor will inbound it. Here's Jackson. And she draws the foul, and that may be the night's end for Brabensova. That should be her 5th. She would depart with 9 points. So the Bulls will bring Alvarez back, and Brabensova is done for the evening. Jackson to the free throw line. She is only 3 of 7 from the line tonight. That is the 10th missed free throw of the game for Mississippi State. A chance to tie. All even at 60. Final minute of regulation. Pinzon finds Manunga. Alvarez. And now Harvey. Harvey with a high arcing runner. Leverett the rebound, the foul on Carter, and that will be her 5th.
Kind of apropos for Shea Leverett to have this opportunity, Jim. She has been working extremely hard all night long against the bigs from Mississippi State. And now with an opportunity to give her team the lead with 41.1 seconds to go. And certainly you've got another possession coming up. But with this clock stopped, Leverett with the chance here at the line.
Carter leaves with 15 points and 4 rebounds. Leverett to the free throw line. She's at 75% from the line for the year. But the line drive shot skims off. One more coming. Didn't get either one, and we're still tied at 60. 10-second difference between shot and game clock. Taylor looking inside. Lutharu thought about the 3. Air ball, scramble on the rebound. South Florida comes out with it. Shot clock's turned off. You see the game clock at 12, and USF will take their final timeout. 10.7 seconds to go. 1 timeout left for the Bulldogs. No timeouts left for the Bulls. Got to get it in. You can't call time. 5 seconds. It'll have to be Pinzon from 3. We are going to overtime. between the Bulls and the Bulldogs, South Florida and Mississippi State. 4 quarters not enough. This has been a great game, and we're going to get to see a little more. Rickea Jackson for Mississippi State. Underway in overtime with the Bulldogs starting with the basketball. Maya Taylor. Now Mutharo, and a whistle early in the play, and that might be it for Maria Alvarez. Alvarez will become the second South Florida player to foul out, and that takes a big piece of Jose Fernandez's offensive strategy out of the game.
Absolutely. Maria Alvarez once again providing for the second consecutive game. One of the reasons, certainly, Jim, why this game is in overtime with those 9 points that she's had tonight, the brunt of her spark coming again in the third quarter of play.
Matharu to the free throw line, and that's her first miss. She's now 7 of 8. Averages 5.5 per game, but she's got 16 tonight. She was terrific in the second half. 1 out of 2. Mississippi State with a 1-point lead. Harvey returned after Alvarez fouled out. And Chineke now with the basketball. Pinzan set up on a wing for the moment. Here's Pinzan with it. And her pass almost stolen by Maya Taylor. It'll go back to South Florida with 11 on the shot clock.
Social distancing bench actually, I think, helped Taylor kind of tap dance through the South Florida team there on the sidelines.
What kind of adjustments do you make in overtime?
Well, I think for both teams, they need to continue really doing what they were doing as far as where they've gotten to here to get to this extra stanza of play. South Florida, Jim, has done a superb job in the second half of basketball, getting to the free throw line, and I think they need to be able to continue doing that as they are right here, right now, with the clock stopped. I think for Mississippi State, late in the game when they needed to get back into this game as South Florida was going on a run, they are at their best when they're running downhill and driving to the basket. Need to continue to do that. They certainly have the height advantage here in this extra stanza and being able to utilize that here for the extra 5.
Rickea Jackson got her 4th foul. Monunga able to hit 1 out of 2. So it's tied again here early in overtime. Madison Hayes checks in and will inbound the basketball. South Florida led by 5 at the half. Tied at 60 at the end of regulation, and now overtime. Here is Cooks working on Leverett. And a big offensive rebound for Hayes and a held ball. Harvey tied her up. It'll go to South Florida. How about Madison Hayes, though, has only played a couple of minutes in this game, getting in there and doing a good job on the offensive boards.
Taking care of that opportunity. You know, you want to be able to turn coach's head. And for the young freshman trying to learn the system right now,
Pinzan working on Matharu. Knocked out of bounds, back to South Florida.
Who does it? Hayes with the tip.
Coming back in, Yamaya Morris. 6'6", senior out of San Bernardino. Inside to Leverett. And the Bulls score off the out-of-bounds play. Nicely diagrammed as Leverett broke free.
That's 2 times tonight that I can think of where they've had set pieces out of bounds plays and been able to convert on both of those opportunities.
South Florida by 2. Cooks, the entry pass to Morris. Now Taylor, and away from the ball, Leverett and Morris were tangled up. And they're going to get Leverett for the foul, and that will be her 3rd. So the foul on South Florida. And Morris will go to the free throw line. This is the 31st free throw of the night for the Bulldogs. One more for Morris. And it's a 1-point game. There is Jackson re-entering, playing with 4 fouls. Pinzan bumped, but maintains control, gets it into the front court. Chineke, baseline runner. Leverett, a great job to hustle and keep that alive. It sets up a Chineke 3, and Leverett is there again. And this will be a held ball that will go to Mississippi State. A great hustle by Leverett.
And her eyes wide open there. She saw what if she could retain that basketball, the big open seam and getting to the bucket. Big possession here for Mississippi State.
Bulldogs with a chance to take the lead. 1-point game. Cooks. Leverett stops her, goes back outside to Taylor. 5 on the shot clock. And with 3 on the shot clock, a foul. Let's see if the shot goes. They wave off the basket. But free throws coming up.
Taylor with a big smile on her face. Of course, without any fans here, we can hear what the players say. And she said, come on, that's continuation.
Not in this league.
Not in this league. Not in this league one bit.
Jemiah Mingo Young to the free throw line. She is 2 of 6 from the line in this game. And again, missed free throws for both teams, becoming a storyline here in overtime.
And then when they're short like that, Jim, usually the fatigue's starting to set in just a little bit.
Got the roll on the second one.
This is, for these teams, this is the preseason, right?
It has been mostly free throws in overtime. Leverett has the only basket for either team. Tied up again. Here's Harvey with a 3. And again, the Bulls fighting on the offensive boards, but it's Mingo Young coming out with a basketball. Oh, a great save in the corner there to hold the possession, give Taylor the chance. And Monunga the rebound for USF with 1:49 to go. Remember, the Bulls used their last timeout in regulation. They do have one here in overtime. Harvey open 3. Short again, and the rebound taken by Mississippi State. Cold shooting for both teams in overtime. Bulls have missed their last 4 shots, have not scored in over 2 minutes. Matheru thought about the 3, now will back up and take it. And Bermejo takes the rebound off the floor for South Florida. 1 minute to go in overtime. And Pinzan will call the timeout, and South Florida up for both of these teams. Monunga has to settle for Leverett as they deny Pinzan the ball. Now she gets it. Pinzan puts the brakes on, leaves it short, gets the rebound. Bulls will reset. You see the game clock and the shot clock. We are in overtime, South Florida and Mississippi State. Monunga draws the foul. This will be on Cooks, and Monunga will get free throws.
Betty, got to clean it out for Betty, and that's exactly what South Florida was trying to do there. Little one-on-one isolation for Monunga. She'll have the opportunity at the free throw line.
Monunga to try to break the tie. She's 2 for 3 from the line tonight. 6 points, another huge rebounding game. She's got a dozen boards. South Florida by 1. Monunga in her second year with South Florida, native of Belgium. She is a senior. 2-point South Florida lead. To inbound. Maya Taylor. Here is Jackson. Bermejo is guarding her. Boy, solid defense by South Florida. Tough shot, no good. Follow is up, no good. Another offensive board, a blocked scramble for it. It's a held ball, and that goes to South Florida with 6.3 seconds to go. A terrific defensive sequence for the Bulls.
Terrific defensive sequence and 3 solid opportunities for this Mississippi State team. You talk about driving to the hoop and getting to the bucket. They were in some great spots on the floor to be able to have that opportunity. As the officials discussing right now, the time left on the clock after that whistle being blown.
Let's watch this again. Mutharo had a couple of good looks, couldn't convert.
And Mutharo's been the one, Jim, who has been solid at the free throw line for this Mississippi State team. But how about team defense in the paint, clamping down for USF?
And I think you're right. I think the question here is the amount of time on the clock. You can see it reads 6.3 right now. But they appear to be looking at videotape, probably watching what we did just a moment ago and trying to match it up with the clock and see if they should make any kind of adjustment here. If you're South Florida here, you know you've got 6.3 or thereabouts. You've got to protect the basketball at all costs, but you got to think about who you are going to allow Mississippi State to foul if it comes to that.
Right, exactly. As Jose Fernandez, you can see him talking to his South Florida team right now. Protect the basketball. Whatever you do, protect the basketball. And South Florida with 12 turnovers tonight to 20 for Mississippi State. Certainly uncharacteristic for them, as the clock will remain 6.3 seconds.
You must inbound the ball successfully, and remember, South Florida cannot call a timeout here. They have none left. Monunga to put it in play. Still looking, gets it to Pinzon, and there's the foul, and that's a good scenario for South Florida. Pinzon to the free throw line. Mutharo gets the foul, her third. And Pinzon, who is 3 of 4 from the line, will shoot those 4 free throws, her first of the season for South Florida. 5.4 seconds to go. And one more for Pinzon could go a long way towards settling this. South Florida by 4. And Mississippi State will go. 5.4 seconds to go. South Florida and Mississippi State in a great battle tonight. Mingo Young lost the handle. South Florida will knock off the number 6 team in the nation, defeating Mississippi State here at the Yuengling Center tonight. Into overtime, and South Florida comes up with the win. Mississippi State, their first loss of the season. The Bulls go to 2-1. Leah, we looked at the schedule with number 4 Baylor, number 6 Mississippi State. You always want both of them, but you really want one.
You really want one. When you're playing top 10 teams this early in the season, you want to be able to turn some heads and have the discussion starting to go your way. Jim, great improvement on a quick turnaround by this South